Well, hello and welcome to this week's edition of the City Update. I'm your host, Mark Aaron, Multimedia Design Manager for the City of Danville. Joining me this week is Scott Longerbeam, and we're at the Danville Science Center. Scott heads up our GIS division with our IT department in the City of Danville. And every year about this time, we have International GIS Day, which is celebrated, obviously, internationally, but we do our own part right here in the City of Danville. We bring kids in, school kids from all over the region to celebrate this day, to learn a little bit more about GIS, using mapping software that the city uses quite often, but just how you use maps every day in your life, really. And you make it fun for them, Scott. So what I want to do today is we're going to talk to some students here at the Danville Science Center. They're going to about 5 different stations. We'll talk to them about the fun they're having. But I wanted Scott to share with us a little bit about this day, why he feels it's so important that we do share geography with students here at such a young age. And Scott, I know you've made a career out of this, so obviously there is a need for this type of thing, not only in IT, but public works, utilities. All of our city departments utilize your services really on a daily basis. So talk about why it's so important that we celebrate GIS Day here in the City of Danville.
Well, I think GIS Day is part of Geography Awareness Week. That started back in '99. It was sort of a grassroots campaign to sort of bring geography information and education to school children around the world, give them sort of a sense of place. I think a lot of kids don't have that sometimes in their regular curriculum at school. So we provide sort of an arena for them to come and explore different aspects of geography, give them sort of different activities to participate in so they can pick up a little knowledge about sort of maps and the way they're used in everyday life.
Tell me a little bit about what they'll be learning today as they go through these different stations.
We have a great lineup today. We have 5 different activities. We have Geography Jeopardy, which is a full Jeopardy board set up with all sorts of geography questions on it, and the kids will compete for different values for the answers and bragging rights at the end of it. Then we have a map journal quiz, which is run downstairs here. That is set up where there are pictures taken from all around the city, and the kids have to try and match the picture up to the letter on the map. So that gives them sort of a sense of where different things in the city actually belong on a map. We also have a geocaching activity where they're going around and trying to find different hidden caches around the Science Center area using GPS units. It's also a popular pastime. There's a lot of geocaching activities through the Danville area.
Yeah, that's something they can do with their family right here in the city, right?
Exactly. There's a geocaching website that shows where all the locations are, and you can track it down actually just using your phone nowadays. You don't even need a GPS unit anymore to have fun with that.
And you talk about caches. Now, for our viewers who may not be familiar with that, explain what a cache is.
A cache is usually a little container that's hidden in various places around the city. The container usually has a little notepad and maybe some little trinkets in it. And basically, once you find it and you locate it, you'll take a trinket out, leave something in there, and sign the pad. And it's sort of a way to see how many people have located that.
And you can do that all over the country, can't you?
Everywhere, yes. The website gives you links for wherever you are. They're pretty much a geocache there.
We've done some shows with some individuals here in our community that are passionate about geocaching and have planted a lot of those here in our city. So that's a fun thing you can do with your family. So you have that website right off the top of your head?
I believe it's just geocaching.com.
Geocaching.com. So log on to the website, and that's a fun activity. So it's great to see they'll be doing that today, utilizing their GPS. Like you said, your smartphones have it now, a capability. All right, next stop after that.
They also get to watch a Lewis and Clark movie in the new Dome Theater, which that's kind of big this year. We actually didn't have GIS Day last year because they were building the Dome Theater, so the Science Center was sort of under construction. But now we have it again this year, and they're able to utilize that and get to see sort of Lewis and Clark's adventure across America. And then to wrap it all up, they also have the Science on the Sphere. We have a tectonic monitor from the USGS here at the Science Center for a while, and so they're actually going to use the giant sphere and be able to see the tectonic plates around the world and see the monitor to see what kind of activity has been going on with it.
Right. And that's up-to-date information, up to the hour, right?
Yeah. Yep, that is live information.
That is great. Well, now, tell me, I mentioned you head up our GIS division within our Information Technology Department in the City of Danville. Can you give our viewers just kind of an overview of what your job qualifications are here in the City of Danville? I mentioned city departments utilize your expertise every day with the mapping software, and then some ways that our citizens at home home can log on, because I know we have quite a few GIS websites that are available to the citizens, so they can kind of get an idea of how to utilize that.
Right. Well, I went to school. I double majored in geography and geology. Got involved in GIS shortly after that, started doing some property mapping, which is called cadastral mapping. Okay. And then from there started getting to the programming aspect of things, sort of the back end, so where all the information gets utilized and pushed out to public information websites. And like you were saying, we have a variety of public websites available to us for economic development. We have a site called Discover Danville Sites that shows all the available commercial property that's in the area, plus a bunch of census information, and also information of existing businesses around that area. We also have a parcel viewer, which is our real estate website, where you can go and look up property owners, property information, that sort of thing, deeds, deed books. Then we also have something called My Community Map, which is an interactive sort of geo-aware map. So wherever you are, wherever you pull it up, it'll show you all the city amenities and city businesses, restaurants, that sort of thing within a half-mile radius of where you are. And so you can access that information there with links on how to get there, directions from Google, the whole 9 yards from that.
Very good. And all of this can be accessed from the city's website, danvilleva.gov. The Information Technology Department has a link there to their GIS division. All of those links will be on the website. So encourage each and every one of you to check it out. I know many of you at home utilize that, especially with the real estate assessment website. Photos are on there, assessments and things of that nature. So I know that that is utilized quite a bit.
Correct. And we're coming out with new applications every day. We do a lot of internal programming and applications for the city employees, editing applications so they can edit the information, infrastructure information live. So it's really a growing field. There's a lot of opportunities in it.
Very good. So we encourage you to log on to those websites at your convenience. But Scott, before I let you go today, want to get your feedback. Obviously, you've had a couple of groups come through your station already, and I've seen a lot of smiling faces, and they're having a lot of fun, but they're learning a lot in the process.
Correct. I think they really get into the game aspect of it. It makes it fun. They get to learn a little bit more about the area they live in and get a better perspective of sort of where everything is located spatially, which is not something they get to do every day. So I think they're having a good time with it.
Well, Scott, I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule this morning to join us. I know you've got a class waiting on you now, so we'll let you get going. But thanks again for heading this up as we celebrate International GIS Day here in the city of Danville. And what we'll do is we'll take a quick break. When we come back from break, we'll talk to some of the students that have been taking part in some of the activities today.
Perfect. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you at home for watching this first segment. When we come back from break, we'll talk to some students that are taking part in the International GIS Day celebrations here at the Danville Science Center this year.
Ballerina.
Sometimes all it takes to be a dad is remembering how to be a kid again. Take time to be a dad today.
Well, welcome back to this week's edition of the City Update. As I mentioned before we went on break, we were going to talk to some of the kids that are taking part at International GIS Day here at the Danville Science Center. And I'm joined by Xavier Walters, who's a fifth grade student at Woodbury Hills School here in the city of Danville. And he's having a great time here at GIS Day, and he's going to talk a little about what he's experiencing. Xavier, I know before we went on camera, you told me that you had a lot of fun learning about the science on a sphere. Can you tell me a little bit about some of the things you learned there?
Yeah, we was looking at this science fair thing, and we was seeing the how like earthquakes and stuff form and storms form.
Cool. Now, have you gone down and done the mapping game yet, trying to locate where different things are in the city of Danville?
Yes, sir.
Was that kind of cool?
Yes, sir.
Y'all sounded like y'all were having a fun time.
Yes, sir.
Were there some of the things you were able to locate on a map, some of the different areas? Can you tell me about some of the different areas you located?
Yeah, I located where was Biscuitville at and stuff like that.
So you had a picture of Biscuitville, and then you had a map, and you had points on that map, and A, B, C, D, and you had to figure out which point on that map represented Biscuitville, right?
Yes, sir.
So were you able to look at that map and tell?
Yes, sir.
So how were you able to tell where Biscuitville was located here in the city of Danville?
because my grandma, she used to always go to Biscuitville, and when I'm with my dad, we always ride by Biscuitville.
So you knew kind of where it was located here in the city, huh?
Yes, sir.
That's cool. And you know what that's called? You're using mapping technology, using geography to locate things here in the community. That's pretty neat, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, during the school hours in your textbooks, do you learn about geography and using maps to locate things?
We haven't started geometry yet.
You haven't started geography yet? Okay. Well, Xavier, I appreciate you taking the time to join us today. And I know you're getting ready to go into the Digital Dome Theater to watch a movie, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever been in that Digital Dome?
No, sir.
This is the first time. Well, I guarantee you're going to have a fun time, so I'll let you head on over there, okay?
Okay.
Well, joining me now is Daniel Hicks, who is a fifth grade student at Park Avenue Elementary School here in the city of Danville, and a good baseball player, I will say that as well. But Daniel, tell me a little bit about what you've learned today here at GIS, because I know you've been to 3 stations so far, right?
Yeah. Well, in the first station, we learned about like how they use maps to study where airplane routes are, the boat routes, and also where the clouds are formed, so they know if gonna have a hurricane or not.
Cool.
In our second station, we learned about water and like how pollution gets in the water and how different things form.
Cool.
And in our station we're in right now, we're playing Jeopardy about all the different land formations and stuff like that in North America.
Cool. So you're playing a game here right now, right?
Yeah.
Tell about that. So you having fun doing that?
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Little competition between the 2 teams, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Now, have you all studied geography in school at Park Avenue so far? So some of the things you've learned in the classroom, you're kind of bringing here to GIS Day today?
Yeah, we're learning about Native Americans and where they're at in North America.
Yeah.
We just finished up with that, and we've also talked about different states and where they are. We've had northeastern and southwestern, so
Okay, cool.
learned a little bit about that.
So you're learning a lot about mapping and using maps and locating different areas across the country when it comes to where Native Americans were and things like that. Now, I know you're going to go to another station today where you're actually going to utilize pictures to locate different places in the city of Danville on maps. So they'll have little places set up for you to go A, B, C, D, and then you'll find those, use those pictures to find different areas using mapping. So is there any other ways you use mapping maybe in your daily life when it comes to GIS?
Well, I do use mapping when I plan trips to go to places, especially when you're going to Disney World and you need to know where you're going.
There you go.
So, yeah, mapping's an important part of life if you want to know where you're going.
It's helped us get to a lot of baseball fields over the last 8 months, hasn't it?
Yes, especially GPSs.
There you go. So, and then speaking of GPS, you're actually going to be using a GPS here in just a little bit to do something called geocaching, and you're going to learn a lot more about that. But you go out and you actually find little caches with little hidden treasures, and they've got those buried all over the city of Danville.
Oh, that sounds fun.
But you can use a GPS to find out where they are, and I think you're going to find a couple here today. So, Daniel, I appreciate you joining us today, and have a great time here for the rest of the day at GIS Day.
Okay, thanks.
Well, joining me now is Angel Pritchett, who is a fifth grade student at Park Avenue as well. And Angel, I wanted you to share with our viewers some of the things you're learning here at GIS Day at the Danville Science Center. Can you tell me about some of the cool things you've done so far and what you're learning here today?
Well, we're playing Jeopardy now, and it's like a social studies Jeopardy kind of. It's giving us like information and geography and all of that. In the first station, we was learning about how the Earth's cycle like combines and everything, and like things that go around the Earth. And the second station, we was like in like a science thing, where it was like we would go into this like submarine and we like push buttons to like make it move a little bit.
Now, you were talking about the signs on a sphere earlier, so you were able to see a lot of different things on that sphere when it comes to patterns that boats take around the world, airplanes, and they were able to put that on the sphere and show that to you, right? So was that something you had ever seen before?
No, not really.
Really? Did you find that interesting?
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. And did they show you some things about earthquakes as well? I heard there was some demonstrations about earthquakes and where they've occurred all around the world.
Yes, it was like the earthquakes is like, if it was a 10, it would be extremely damaged, and it was like a 9, it would probably be a little bit damaged. But other than that, lower, it won't be as harsh as 9 and 10.
Right, and so you were actually able to see where those 9 and 10 earthquakes were occurred across the world, right? Using that technology on the sphere.
Yes.
Well, are you looking forward to anything else here today at GIS Day?
Yeah.
All right, very good. Well, you continue to have a great day, and thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Joining me now is Quan Ingram, who is a fourth grade student at Woodbury Hills Elementary School here in the city of Danville. He's going to tell us about how much fun he's having here at GIS Day. Now, Quan, tell me, what have you had fun doing here today?
I was in there watching like the little glove thing telling me like the amount of earthquakes that done happened and like the ships and all the airplanes that been shipped in days.
Oh, cool. So you were the science on a sphere, the sphere that we have here at the Danville Science Center. So that was telling you were able to see on that sphere actually how many ships are in the oceans around the world on a daily basis. It was quite a few of them, wasn't it?
Yes.
So you were able to see how many earthquakes we've had around the country just in the last year, right?
Yes.
Now, was there anything else that you enjoyed doing here at the Science Center during GIS Day?
Yeah, they had us looking for something with GPS. It was like a little scavenger hunt.
Yeah, you went on a scavenger hunt. That's called geocaching. Now, were you able to find anything?
Yes.
Oh, so how did that work? You had a GPS device, right? And what did that GPS device tell you to do?
It took me to where the treasure was at, and you had to find it. After you got there, you had to look for it.
So it gave you directions, right? Now, what were some of those directions? Did it say travel east, west, north, or south? Did you have to understand those directions to find the cache?
Yes.
So that's what it told you, huh? Is that pretty cool? Have you ever tried to do that outside of school hours? Because that's something cool you could do with your family.
No.
Really? Because there's a lot of caches that are hidden all. Did you know there's a lot of caches hidden all over the city of Danville that you can locate, and all of them have cool little surprises in them. Did you know that?
He was telling me about it.
Does that sound like something cool you might do in the future?
Yes.
All right, cool. Well, I'm going to let you go because I know you're getting ready to go watch your movie in the Digital Dome Theater. Have you ever been in the Digital Dome Theater here at the Danville Science Center? Well, you're in for a treat, so I'm going to let you go so you can enjoy your movie. All right, bud?
Yes.
Okay, 516 feet. This is still trying to track satellites. It takes them a while to actually pick up the satellites. All right, and my phone app, I can do the same thing with it. So what you need to do, you're not going to hold this and stare at the compass and the arrow compass on here. You're just going to go in the direction that it's pointing and walk for a little ways and look down and see how close you're getting. Read the numbers at the top. All right? All right, let's start going. Yours I know is right. This one's still trying to find satellites. Every time we go in the building, we keep losing satellites.
Which way is saying to go?
Okay, we need to kind of start hitting. Okay, we'll go.
Now we're telling you to go 15 feet away.
Now the cache is going to be of probably a what we call a micro cache. This particular one's not going to be a really big container, holder.
Where are the others?
It's not going to be the traditional cache like you saw the box that I showed you in there. All right, look at your GPS units carefully. How many feet does it say on yours? Okay, you're really close. All right, this is about as close as you're going to get on his. So we're about 5 or 6 feet away from the cache. Now, online, all these caches that are registered, you can open up an encrypted clue. Well, the encrypted clue is going to be what, for number one, is going to be what your chaperone, your teacher, has here. So I'm going to let him read the clue. Now, the rest is left up to your powers of observation to find this cache.
The first clue is sit and take shelter from the rain before you cross over on your journey.
So,
Y'all look puzzled.
where are you? Where you standing, would you be protected from the rain?
Yes.
Okay, so it means it's somewhere close.
It's got to be within, we'll just say within 5, 6, 7, 8 feet of where you stand.
And the
Don't,
second part,
I'll tell you what, let me have the GPS units now because it's gotten you to the location.
Now y'all just gotta find
You
it.
just have to find it.
And the second part it said before you cross. So do you see a bridge anywhere?
But hey, remember,
But you're in this area.
but it's within 5 to 8 feet of where I stand.
So y'all around right here when you around
5
in
to
the
8
circle.
feet. Without giving it
I
away.
see it. I already see it.
Where?
I'm look. Where? Ah!
And you know, magnetic key cases, and in this we have lucky wooden nickel. What does it say on the other side? It says geocaching.
So it gotta be over here somewhere.
Panama City Beach, Florida. All right. So you found a lucky wooden nickel in this geocache. Now, if you actually, if this was something that you took, you would have to put something back. You know, you might put one of those rubber wristbands that you guys like to wear back in the container.
What is the name of this symbol? Her? All right, what is it? What's the name of that symbol? Compass. That's correct. Compass is correct. Map terminology for $300. Good job, blue team. What is the name of the famous train wreck that happened in Danville on September 27th of 1903? Who was it? One with the button-down jacket. You go ahead. Do you know the answer? The one behind him, the boy behind you. You gotta speak up so everybody can hear you.
What's the name of the wreck?
What's the name of the train wreck? The old 97 is correct. Good job, red team.
Well, as we wrap up this week's edition of the City Update, I'm joined now by Miss Mormon, who is a 5th grade teacher at Woodbury Hills Elementary School. She's been a teacher here in the Danville Public School System for 22 years. So she has taught a lot of kids and used a lot of different ways to teach these children. And this is just another way that we're doing that here with GIS Day, getting them out in the community to learn more about geography and geographic information systems. And Ms. Mormon, I know this is the first time that your students have been able to take part in GIS Day. So I just wanted to get some feedback from you as a veteran teacher here in the school system on how this day has gone for you and your class.
Oh, we've had a wonderful day so far. Our first activity was the geocaching, so we got to use the little GPS devices to go out and find some things that were hidden here at in the area. And then also we were able to go into the Dome Theater to see the Lewis and Clark expedition movie. So.
It seems like the Digital Dome has really been a hit with all the kids, and I know some of the kids I've talked to have never been to the Digital Dome since it's been fairly new here to the city of Danville, only been here about 8 months. So you got a lot of good feedback from your kids about the movie?
Oh yes, they were really, really excited. A few screams in there because they were so excited because it felt so real.
Yeah.
So.
And the geocaching, I'm really impressed with the geocaching. That's something that they can do at home. You don't even really have to have a GPS device. Most phones now have a built-in GPS device, or you can download an app to do it at home. And these caches are really buried all over the city of Danville, so it's something that your kids can really utilize geography at home by playing and having fun. It's kind of like a treasure hunt, isn't it?
Yes, I mean, we found several things here on site, but I heard some of the children saying that they couldn't wait to go back and log on, and so they could be able to do that in the community as well.
And we were talking before we went on camera about the 5th grade SOLs and some of the ways that they're learning geography. And you said they're utilizing maps a little bit with the SOLs, right?
Yes, yes. We go back and review some things that are from like our continents and some of the major rivers in the United States. And so we have begun our studies just a little bit.
Great. Well, Ms. Mormon, I really appreciate you taking the time to join us today, and thank you for bringing your children here to the Science Center for GIS Day, and I hope you have a great rest of the day.
All right, thank you.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for this week's edition of the City Update. Again, we want to thank Scott and all of his staff within the Information Technology Department here in the city of Danville, and also other city staffers who helped him put this great day on here at the Danville Science Center. Again, I want to thank the Science Center for hosting this event. It's been a great GIS day here in the city of Danville. Again, this is the 7th year we've done this here in the city. The kids seem to have a great time doing it. We've added new stations with the Digital Dome Theater this year to incorporate geography. We had the Well, that's going to wrap it up for this week's edition of the City Update. Again, we want to thank Scott and all the staff within our Information Technology Department for putting on GIS Day here in the community. It seems like many of the students here in the Danville Public School Systems had a great time here today at the Danville Science Center. Thanks to the center for hosting this event, and also other city staffers within other departments that have helped Scott and the IT department put this on today. We look forward to having it again here at the Science Center next year as we get, again, this is the 7th year we've done this here in the community. It's great to see the way mapping technology just has grown in just the last 7 years we've been putting this on. So I can't imagine 7 years from now what we'll be doing with GPS and mapping technology. Again, we invite you to log on to the City of Danville's website, danvilleva.gov, to visit some of the websites that we have that incorporate this mapping technology, from real estate assessment to economic development sites. So we encourage you to log on to that site and utilize some of that information as well. So until next week, have a great day.